My name's Sylvia.
My name is Saraya.
My name's Lynn.
My name is Kyla.
My name is Jalen, and our research question was, how does being treated unequally affect someone psychologically?
Our poem was called Mexico is Sinking, and the author was explaining how Hispanics are seen as different from Americans, and because of that, they're treated unequally. And he highlighted this in the poem by asking a question: what would happen if they were seen as the same as Americans?
This is how it affects the author's viewpoint. He was born in Mexico but moved to the United States in 1978. He experienced the inequality firsthand. He lived in both worlds and he basically turned them.
We got to our question because we wanted to see how being treated unequally and being discriminated against made people feel and how it affected their daily lives. And in this quote we got from one of our articles, and it basically explains that being discriminated against can affect your self-esteem.
Psychology, the scientific study of the human mind, including the functions, and this includes those affecting behaviors. The quote that we got to explain more about psychology is discrimination is incredibly complex and experienced in so many different ways that it can be difficult to pinpoint the process by which it undermines mental health, which means being discriminated can really affect your mental health.
Okay, so the anecdote that we chose is from a video from the APA, the American Psychological Association. It's called Undocumented Americans, and it details the lives of three undocumented immigrants who are experienced a lot of like mental and emotional trauma, and we have some examples of like psychological effects that they're experiencing. And connecting back to the topic or the question, we were our question talks about inequality and our question talks about inequality and psychological effects. So this is an example of inequality that's very prevalent and real, and something that I found very interesting about the video is that these people work to contribute to our society, but our society that doesn't want them, and that can be very burdening and isolating, especially since they have to keep a secret, and it can lead to things like mental disorders, and they can't enjoy or do the same things as everybody else.
The main causes we thought that led to people being discriminated against was stereotypes, different races, different gender, disabilities, sexual orientation, culture, and your social class. And a quote that supported this was, prejudice often stems from wildly held beliefs about specific groups of people. These beliefs are typically oversimplified and tend to foster prejudice and discrimination.
The effect and impacts of people getting discriminated, or the effect of getting discriminated, is like stress, low self-esteem, depression, anxiety, shame, perform less of your ability, and there's a lot of people who has like a good impact off this and motivate themselves to do better. Like Oprah, she takes all the negative she gets and turn it into something else.
Alright, so our opinion is that we believe that the psychological effects are mostly negative, so because of evidence from the slideshow and evidence that we found, and some solutions that we propose are right underneath. And so the first solution was to teach kids to work with different kinds of people in school, and some benefits of that were it would have higher average test scores. People would be more likely to go to college, and it would reduce achievement gaps. The next thing that we came up with was to take psychology classes, and so because psychology is applicable to your everyday life, so it applies to every time you interact with someone, and it's a study of how people think. So of how people think, and also it applies in your relationships, so getting along well with people, and it also helps in your mental health. And so, and our last solution was to provide mental health training and services. So, some benefits of that would be less conflict and reduced anxiety, and some limitations and obstacles to those solutions would be they might not be effective in the real world, as the first and second solutions would only apply in one setting. They only happen in school. And another obstacle would be there's an unwillingness to meet new people or refer to mental health services for a number of reasons. And another one would be many people might be opposed to taking the class, especially if it's required. And another one would be there might be an inability to access fund or afford mental health services, especially for low income people, or if there's a lack of government or school support, and the solutions may not be taken seriously, and the counselors may not have proper training.
Yeah, this is just rather good.
Okay. So yes, thank you. All right. So, but I do have some questions to ask. So remember, you have an oral defense. So I'll just ask 2 people questions, and I'll just give you your grade based on the 2 people responding. So Raya, what was the biggest challenge that your group faced?
It wasn't like a challenge, but absence.
Okay. So how did you overcome that challenge?
We had an extra day.
Okay. All right. Kyla, which group member brought something important to the table that was essential for your project?
I'm trying to remember. To be honest with you, I just feel like everything we did was important.
Okay.
To be
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.